On May 18th, 2024, the Oklahoma City Thunder were eliminated by the Dallas Mavericks in 6 games in the second round of the Western Conference semifinals, whatever you want to call it, second round Western Conference semifinals. I don't really care. That's not the point of this story. The point is that it was a 54 win or 55 win Thunder team, and everyone said, well, they were a young team. They were the 1 seed. They will be back. And a year later, May 18th, 2025, we witnessed one of the game sevens of all time. It wasn't a good one. It wasn't pretty if you were a Denver fan outside of a good 6 minute stretch to start the game. I think Oklahoma City made the statement of all statements, absolutely just destroying Denver for 3 quarters.
Yeah, it was pretty big, Kate. You mentioned that first 6 minutes. That was a little scary if you're a Thunder fan, especially with the whole Aaron Gordon toughing out on a hamstring, and he just comes out hair on fire, and you're like, oh Lord,
Yeah,
could be
and
one of
that's what I
those, isn't it?
wanted. I wanted to get your opinion on that because that first 6 minutes of the game was just a completely different experience compared to what we saw the rest of the time. Because that first 6 minutes, I was watching this thing. Okay, Oklahoma City shots aren't falling. People are starting to look a little scared. That crowd's starting to have a little bit of doubt creep into the back of the mind. You could feel that everything that could have possibly gone wrong to start that game went wrong. Aaron Gordon looked like the greatest 1.5 legged basketball player I'd ever seen. All sorts of crazy stuff was happening. And then the Thunder get just a little bit of not even a break. I mean, they just played their game. It slowly shifted into their game. And then the god awful stretch of no Jokic and no Murray on the floor to start the second quarter. I don't know why you would ever do that if you're Denver in a game seven, but that was the tipping point to, okay, this is now Oklahoma City's game. Denver may not be coming back from this. And they didn't.
Yeah, I was really glad there that Oklahoma City woke up because I thought for a good minute, I really did. Like you're talking about, I was sitting there with bated breath, like, oh Lord, this isn't going to be our night, is it? It finally, they just some changed. Of course, Jokic, having to go to the bench, or I say having to, they put him on the bench. That was kind of the regular season Denver Nuggets showing up there, so that was good to see for OKC when all of a sudden here comes the avalanche of points when Jokic isn't on the floor. Goes to show you just how legit he is as an impact player, of course.
I mean, I just want to look at the game flow chart here for a moment because you could see it kind of went back and forth for a while. Once the Thunder woke up, it was a tight game for a little bit. And we thought, okay, this is kind of turning into that game seven we want to see. And then right before halftime, Oklahoma City goes on a big run. And the second half was just never the same intensity from Denver. Oklahoma City just smothered them. You look at the turnover differential, 23-10. I mean, it was abysmal for Denver. And Alex Caruso, I don't think I can give Alex Caruso enough credit for what he did shutting down Jokic. Jokic, keep in mind, had, what was it, 17, 15 in the first half? He had three-fourths of his points in the first half. I mean, he came out and just only finishes on 9 shots. You're the best. You are an MVP candidate. You are a top 2 player in the league right now, in the world right now. And you're out here getting 9 shots because nobody can get you the ball. That's where Oklahoma City's defense was at in the second half, especially.
Yeah, but to be fair, that had kind of been the story throughout the series, right? Like
It
it's not
had.
like Jokic other other than one game had really lit it up. So it was just the fact that it seemed like finally, unfortunately for Denver, the rest of the cast just wasn't there, right? You mentioned Aaron Gordon playing on essentially a leg and a half. Jamal Murray had been dealing with issues, and Michael Porter Jr. came into the series wearing ice packs on his shoulder. Like this was a banged up Denver team. I'm not going to sit here and as an Oklahoma City fan, act like we sit there and beat a full strength Denver team. That being said, got the job done, but it looked like a team that was worn out finally in this game seven.
They did. They did. My only, I guess, problem would be if you know you're worn out and you know that you could start to see the writing on the wall. Jamal Murray's not playing well. Aaron Gordon, we had already talked about his issues there. Michael Porter Jr. already was a bit, with the shoulder problem and everything. You can tell he's not having a good shooting night again, from deep, especially. 0 for 4, you look at it. My only question, I guess, is why do you not try to scheme something up to get your best player going? Because that had worked a bit in the first half. Jokic was getting to the free throw line a lot. He was forcing trouble inside, and Denver just could not get back to it. And I don't think that would have made a difference at the end of the day. I think Oklahoma City would have, found a way to scheme against it. I guess my only question would be if you're Denver, why not try to make that little bit of a push in the third early there? Because it felt like, okay, Oklahoma City just grabbed the momentum they had at the end of the first half and ran with it to start the third quarter. Denver really never made a shot to make a push anyway.
Yeah, and that was kind of odd for the simple fact we'd seen Denver make some of those pushes throughout the series, but I think that's where you give Oklahoma City credit in this is backs against the wall, that slow start. They started to catch the momentum and they rode that the rest of the way. And once they got that momentum, they realized like, hey, this is where we control the game, and they didn't let up at that point.
No, they did not. I mean, you look at some of the stats for Oklahoma City here. I mean, it was absolutely ridiculous. SGA does his thing, 35 points. If we had to wait and give the MVP after this series, if you wanted to do that, series on the line, whoever won this thing was going to get the MVP. He's the MVP. He has to be at this point with how he played in that game. Showed up for a while. It seemed like he was the only guy doing anything super early on for Oklahoma City. Of course, that changed completely after that first quarter. He stayed solid. He always does. 12 for 19 from the field. I mean, he's just ridiculous to deal with. J Dub, we talked about, is he going to show up? And he did. I mean, he absolutely rose to the occasion 24, 5, and 7, 10 for 17 from the field. Chet did his thing, of course, and Alex Caruso, already talked about him. 3 steals, a plus minus of 40, by the way, a positive 40. That is insane. Case and Wallace, same thing, a plus of 38. I mean, if you believe in plus minus, that is just ridiculous. That is just insane to think about for Oklahoma City. That you have whoever you want to throw off the bench, just oh yeah, sure. Let's just throw another wing on here. Let's throw another guard, another forward. We can do whatever we want right now. We know we have that advantage.
Yeah, it was a great job of, Oklahoma City side to kind of flex that muscle of the depth, right? As you're alluding to. I think they reminded everybody, oh, this team's a legit 10, 12 deep in terms of guys that could come in and actually contribute. I'm most happy, and you mentioned a little bit, to see J Dub kind of get back to what everybody thought, okay, this guy's got to pick it up because in the postseason, it just hadn't really been there for J Dub for the most part. So to see him have the game he did, that's relieving. You want to see that continue going into the Western Conference Finals.
You do. And speaking of those Western Conference finals, before we get there, Denver, we got to put the fries in the bag for Denver. It was a good run for the Nuggets. It really was. I mean, they beat the Clippers. That was a hard fought series. You're playing 14 games compared to a team. This is only game 11 for them. It makes a little bit of a difference, I think. But you look at what Oklahoma City's going to be going up against in Minnesota. Thunder is 7.5 point favorite for game one. Quick turnaround. I mean, you're going from Sunday afternoon to now Tuesday night. Minnesota's had a little bit of time to wait, kind of the opposite situation of what happened for OKC against Denver. And I'm intrigued how this series works because there are a lot of people, and I think some of this is some salt, some of this is some people just not wanting to see Oklahoma City win. I don't know if you've seen it. I don't know if I'm on a different side of NBA Twitter than you or not, Tyler, but I've seen a lot of Wolves are got it. They're gonna take care of this. It's Wolves in 6. We know that the Wolves are going to win this. And, keep in mind, I'm a neutral in this fight, but it's just these two went 2-2 against each other in the regular season. Minnesota's had another phenomenal playoff run. This is back-to-back Western Conference Finals now for Minnesota. They've never done that before. But you're running into the buzzsaw that is now Oklahoma City. And, I don't think this is that controversial of a take, but from what I've seen, it feels like it. I think Oklahoma City's toughest challenge is behind them now. I think they match up with Minnesota way better than they did Denver. Rudy Gobert is not Nikola Jokic. He's not going to put as much stress on Chet and Hardenstein. He's not going to put that pressure on them as much, which allows Oklahoma City to spread out a little bit more defensively. Minnesota's got a great defense as well. These are 2 top 5 defenses in the NBA going at it. It will be a rock fight of a series at times, don't get me wrong. But Oklahoma City can kind of throw whoever they want at Minnesota, especially when it comes to trying to guard someone like Ant. You have Caruso you could throw at him. You have, whoever you really want to throw out there, Case and Wallace. You have those defenders to really go attack now.
Yeah, like I think when we get to the series, what ultimately will be the storyline of the series, so to speak, is the fact that you're going to see that depth pay off again for OKC. like you mentioned, there's going to be multiple bodies at Anthony Edwards throughout the series, and the goal is to frustrate him. The goal is to make him play hero ball, right? So whether that's forcing it out of his hands and making him feel like he's not getting his shots those first few games where he has to try to take over, that's what you want. Because like you said, Rudy Gobert, look, he's popped off a little bit, here and there, but he's not Nikola Jokic. You could deal with him from a size standpoint. Hardenstein and Chet have proved that. And outside of that, I mean, Julius Randle will put a little pressure on you, but I feel like matchup wise, you could answer what Julius Randle likes to do pretty well if you're Oklahoma City, the same way that you're going to be able to answer Ant and just throw multiple buys at him, right? So I'm curious to see how that plays out. I wouldn't be surprised, Kate, if the first game, just because of how the schedule worked out, you see Oklahoma City be a little sluggish, come off that game 7, you try to get fired up for game 1 again in the short turnaround. So we'll see how that plays out. But I agree with you in the sense that NBA Twitter is definitely not in favor of the Thunder. They have somehow become the villain, and what have they done? I don't know. But they become the villain to most NBA Twitter, it seems like.
Well,
So
I
definitely
will.
you can
I
feel
could.
the intensity there.
I can happily explain to you why you've become the villain of the NBA, but unfortunately, that might be a separate 20-minute video of me having to educate you about what crimes you've committed that you did not know you committed. But
Well, I mean, I look. I'm a NASCAR fan. I'm a racing fan. I know what crimes we committed. We're really good. That's what it is.
that's a big one.
That's the ultimate sin. That's the main forefront of it. The other deal is they're too clean, right? The Thunder put out this how do I put it? The squeaky clean image, and then they play a little rough on the court, right?
They
To
do.
get after you. So people don't like that.
That is true.
For the people that clamor, mind you, these are the same people that clamor, oh man, defense isn't what it used to be like it was in the '90s or the early 2000s. I don't want to see the bad boy Pistons. Somebody brings a little bit of that physicality and intensity, and all of a sudden they're the bad guys. That's fine.
All I'm
That's
gonna
okay.
say on that is I saw one person on Twitter. I don't want to single them out because I don't want to say one guy
No,
represents an
no,
entire
drop
fan base.
names. We need names.
I don't have the name unfortunately for you, but it was something so silly I saw where it was a picture of Caruso guarding Jokic, and he said Caruso committed at least 5 fouls on this play. And someone said, "Okay, please name him." And he was like, first of all, he makes contact with Jokic's jersey, and I was like, if we're calling grabbing the jersey a foul, why are we playing basketball? Like, what are we?
Exactly.
We are calling 300 fouls a game, and everyone is fouling out before halftime, especially since Scott Foster was the guy reffing game 7. Like, you don't think that guy lives and breathes for an environment where he could foul everyone out in the first quarter if he really felt
Oh
like
yeah.
it. Him and Tony
Yeah.
Brothers, especially, where it's just like,
No
what are
question.
we doing here? But I think this will be, speaking of that physicality, this will be a physical series. This is going to be a lot of fun to watch. Tomorrow night, as we're recording this, it'll be the night of when this goes up on YouTube and Spotify. But man, I'm excited for this. I mean, we are here. We're at the Final Four. This is some amazing basketball we're about to see. The parity continues as well in the NBA ever since 2019. This is going to be another year, the 7th season in a row now where we've had a different champion. So that's always great to see as well. But I'm excited for this. This will be a physical series. But at the end of the day, I think the Thunder will pull away with this series. I'd say Thunder in 6 would be a fair
Ooh.
assessment of that. I think 6 games. Minnesota gets one early because of the factors you mentioned. Oklahoma City might come out a little bit rusty, just coming off that Sunday game. Minnesota having some rest. But at the same time, man, I'm excited to see this. I'm excited to see how Ant plays against OKC's defense. I'm excited to see, how does Julius Randle or Naz Reid, someone like that, step of the game. Nickeil Alexander Walker, Jaden McDaniels, they're going to be great defensively as well. This is going to be some rock fights. I said that earlier. I truly believe we're going to have at least one of these games where it's like a 95-88 type of deal, and people are going to be going, this is Oklahoma City team that scored 120 like how many times in the playoffs are, and they're stuck at 95. What is going on here? But at the end of the day, it's just good defense. People are going to be mad about it. I can't wait to see people say that Lou Dort should be arrested for the crime of playing basketball. I'm sure you're going to enjoy that as well. That's going to happen. That's basketball now. You just got to live and deal with it. He might actually do something really bad. I don't know. There's a coin flip on that. I have no idea.
Oh no, he's not Draymond. Let's not paint them too harsh here.
I still
Okay.
have flashbacks from last year, man. I'm sorry. You're not beating the allegations on that one. I still have flashbacks from last year
Oh,
watching
this guy.
Luca limp
This
around
guy.
out there, Lou Dort just whacking him. But that's neither here nor there. Again, I'm not trying to turn this into a super rambly video here, but either way, it's the conference finals,
I,
people. Unless you're a Denver fan, let's just be happy about this. It's great basketball.
I do want to say too, this series on the Minnesota side for Anthony Edwards, especially big legacy series, right?
It
You claim
is.
to be face of the league, this, that, and the other, and here's your chance to really prove it. I mean, this is the chance to be the legend killer, so to speak.
Yeah.
So, not that necessarily Oklahoma City is legendary stats, but you're just taking down all the big ones, right?
Yeah,
So,
I'd say it's a
big
good
series for
legacy
Anthony
series
Edwards.
on both sides, honestly. I think you can make that
Sure.
same argument for SGA that, hey, you're going to be the MVP. You are the guy of the league this year now. The East is kind of settling itself out. The two teams we all expected the Thunder to maybe throw down against if they make it to the finals are not there now. I don't want to say it's wide open for you, but it basically is when you look at the other side. You just got to take care of one more series in the West, and a really good shot at a title awaits you.
Yeah, I will say though, if they lose, like Thunder lose, I don't think that should be legacy defining. People will try to, but this is the first time this
Yeah, I
could have
was
been
saying,
made,
Tyler, I hate to break
right?
it to you. Everyone's going to call you the biggest frauds ever if you lose this
Well,
series.
that's fine. I mean, they're wrong. It's just like calling Luca fraud. They're wrong, but it's okay. I mean, that's fine because we'll have next year, and you still got the roster intact.
Yeah.
We're not, Boston or some of these other squads that we know their time's done.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
So
by the way,
you've
Bender,
still
you're
got the
under,
years and you've still got the salaries to go for a while, so you're good there.
and all the draft picks.
That is
So
true.
we get whoever we want. We're
That
fine.
is true.
That's why I said they could paint it as legacy defining. Doesn't count when it's your first time. Now, if they go win it, make that statement, okay, that's a little bit different.
Yeah. But we will see. It'll be fun basketball at the end of the day. We'll have our video up tomorrow after game one because it's going to be a good time. That's all I'm saying. We're going to have videos after all the games. It'll get a little bit more complicated next week because Tyler has to work for a living. Gosh darn you, Tyler. Why do you have to do important stuff over Memorial Day week? But that's neither here nor there. But folks,
Nice player, hit the game.
there you go. There you go. But as always, folks, if you made it this far and like the video, feel free to, well, leave a like. There's a thumbs up button there. You click it. It's free. Doesn't cost you anything. Takes 5 seconds. Really does help the channel a lot. I mean, I cannot stress it enough to you how simple hitting that button is. It doesn't seem like it should make that big of a difference, but it absolutely does. Feel free to subscribe to the channel as well. Hit the notification bell and leave a comment down below. That's another thing that, only takes a few seconds. Call me stupid for picking the Thunder, a 68 win team, to win the conference finals if you want to in the comments. No matter what you say down there, it will boost the algorithm of this video. You can call me the biggest idiot of all time, and YouTube will still go, hey, that's a good thing. We're going to promote this thing. Why? I don't know, but it works anyway. Appreciate it a lot. If you're listening on Spotify as well, feel free to give us 5 stars over there. We'll have the video, of course, on the other side of the screen, on the left side of the screen. Watch me react to the Cooper Flag news for the Mavs. I still don't know how we have the #1 pick. Again, that's neither here nor there. I'm going to quit rambling now. So, folks, until next time, have a good one, everybody.